Hello. Well, I had a small problem, but we are sorted, I hope. So I am appearing again. And one second. It's not too bad. Anyway, so I had to restart the live. We are talking about the global astrology again in this very short live, hopefully, because it is almost 4 o'clock in the morning here in Ireland. But I just made a video about Argentina, and right now we are going to have a quick look at random horoscopes. And by random, I mean I just have chosen a horoscope of Mexico. If this horoscope is good, I'm not sure about that, but let's have a quick look. I did have a video with full predictions for Mexico. The question is it going to be? Come on. The question is it going to be any interesting? And I don't really remember what I said about Mexico, but when I look at the Mexican progress chart, I don't really know history of Mexico at all. I see straight away that there might be some interesting events. This was the first. I just had a look at the horoscopes that I have of very many different countries, and Mexico was the first one that I wanted to have a look at. And what we can see here is that the progressed moon is going to make conjunction in a couple of days with the natal Pluto of Mexico, and that's going to happen because Venus is already there. Where is the natal Pluto? 1551 in retrograde in Pisces in the 7th house. So it seems that Mexico should have powerful connections with other nations, and some of them may not be legal, and that would be quite logical. And but we already have Venus almost or in conjunction 1607, so Venus is done with conjunction unless it's gonna retrograde later, but the moon is going to add emotions to the partnerships of Mexico, and that is going to happen on the 21st of January 2026. So expect loads of deeply hidden emotions or emotions that are going to touch the things that are hidden with partnerships of Mexico and Mexicans, and that is going to happen on the 21st of, more or less around 21st of January 2026, while in the same time we have a conjunction of progressed Mars conjuncting, let me just check, Saturn of 935, 9, that's gone, that's more or less gone, but in the same time that's a reverse, no, that's a quincunx to the emotions of Mexicans. So regarding Mexico, the first interesting events that I expect would be around the 21st of January 2026, and as I said, these events would be emotions regarding deeply hidden partnerships and partners that are not clearly known to everyone. So this is what is going to be happening in Mexico's progressed chart. Let's have a quick look at the Mexico's transit chart as well, and what is going to happen in Mexico regarding the transits. And straight away I can see that because this year and a bit of next year as well, the initial points of signs and the late points of very late points of signs are going to be affected by this big setup that we are going to have in the sky. And regarding Mexico, Jupiter is very natal Jupiter of Mexico is in the first 0.2 degree of Gemini, and it is going to be conjunct by transiting Uranus, and it is going to happen, and it is going to be sextile by this big massive setup that I am talking for a very long time, and that we are going to have on the 19th 20th of February 2026. But Uranus is going to still be in Taurus, so at this time I would expect some sort, in the same time, borders and limits being built regarding the development of Mexico, the way Mexico improves itself over the years, and it is going to be inflated by the power of natal Jupiter of Mexico as well. But this is one thing. In the same time, the borders are going to get dissolved regarding the development of Mexico. So that's on the 19th of February 2026, and then we are going to have the Saturn making the exact aspect with Jupiter together with Ceres, and this is going to be in June, beginning of June 2026. And Pluto is going to be close to the goddess of discord. So, you know what? Let me check what Uranus did 80 years ago when Uranus was here, because I think that that's gonna be player number one in this horoscope. The funny thing is that I did horoscope, I just finished it maybe 15 minutes ago, the horoscope of Argentina, and Argentina is expecting events regarding the Uranus and Mars as well in the very same period, maybe a bit later. Maybe Argentina will have events here, so that's gonna be interesting timing for Mexico as well. And let me just check, when did it happen the last time? That's around 80 years ago, when Uranus was in this position. What was going on in Mexico? And that is more or less, I don't really want to be exact, that was 1942, June 1942. Events. What? Ugh. On June 1st, 1942, Mexico formally declared war on Germany, Italy, and Japan, following the sinking of its oil tankers by German U-boats in May. Okay. But back then, at this point in the sky was receiving support, and that happened when Saturn was here, yeah? Saturn was exactly in this point with the Sun, and Pluto was in the 11th house in Leo, more or less sextiling this point. So what can we expect in this year if we had declaration of war? I do believe that Mexicans did not really take too much part in the World War II, but that's gonna be interesting as well. It seems that it is very important point in the horoscope of Mexico, and in the same time Pluto, as I'm talking about this big setup in the sky for a couple of months now. Pluto is going to trine this point as well, so Pluto is going to be involved in both Neptune and Saturn a bit earlier that year. So if we had war back then, and we have this yard on the communication in the communication sector of Mexico, so come on, this year and the years to come are actually going to be interesting. As I was saying, actually my viewer number one that I've spoken well one way yesterday just wrote me a question: do you use any type of progress charts or just transit? I do use progress charts. Yeah, I just did progressions of Mexico a second ago, well, maybe 5 minutes ago. So yeah, I do use progressions as well. And but as I said before, let me just show it to all the viewers. I will reappear as fully big one. I have to find this file. I have to find this file regarding the setup in the sky in general, how big it is, and how many points are going to be affected. So in general, right now, the first point of each and every zodiac sign is going to get the most energy, and I especially marked the points that are receiving the most of energy. That's for August last year, but let's have a look at that anyways. So that was point number one. Point number, and the rest are secondary, let's say, but they're extremely strong. And so the first points of each and every zodiac sign are going to be somehow affected, and these yods are going to be massive as well. They're going to be very, very strong, and they are going to stay with us for a while, till the end of 2026, maybe even longer. So that's still initial points of each and every zodiac sign. What it means, lots of energy is going to flow to that sector of anyone's horoscope or any country horoscope. And as I said already, Jupiter here in the first degree of Gemini. I'm sleepy, I'm going to bed in a couple of minutes. So that's going to be affected as well, and I've seen it, but Saturn and Sun are going to make a yard onto the Uranus in the communication sector, and communication seems to be that for Mexicans it's going to be both graceful and very dynamic and chaotic and unpredictable in the same way, and brutal sometimes because it is ruled by Scorpio. So yes, events in Mexico next year in the summer as well, like in Argentina. And then we'll have a conjunction of Neptune on the south node in the 7th sector. Is it 7 or 8 sector? So dissolution of partnerships, whether it's other countries or corporations, so there might be problems as well, but that would be number one, the Uranus aspecting natal Jupiter of Mexico. So the way Mexicans develop their expansion. So that's gonna be interesting. Let's have a look at some other countries that I have in here. Maybe you can ask me a question, viewer number one, Rogi one. Come on. Russia is going to be interesting as well, because but that's gonna be later. In the 5th degree we have Saturn of Russia, and it is going to be conjunct by Pluto. So these are going to be difficult days for Russia as well. Let's have a look at the progress chart. if this horoscope for Russia works, because Russia has like 11 different horoscopes. We had, yeah, so that was the war. We had progress chart in that very point of Russia a couple of years, so more or less that's the beginning of war. And when is transiting Pluto going to aspect that point? Let's have a closer look, because that's gonna be player number 1 in the year 2020. That's gonna be in March, April, and that's gonna quincunx the emotions that Russians have outside. Can you turn off slow? I don't know how to turn it off. Edit, customization, message delay. Okay. Edit, customization, chat. Yeah, I'm trying to do that. Believe me, I'm trying to turn it off. And what would happen if I added you as a moderator? Would you be able to switch it off yourself? Done. Yeah, I did look at Venezuela, and that's a beautiful country as well. It's so sad that they are in such a place. That let's have a look at Venezuela now. So progressed horoscope first. Yeah. So as I think I've checked that Uranus is gonna be here like in year 2160 or something like that, when Uranus will start, progressed Uranus will start conjunction with Mars. But we have lots of time to think what is going to happen. Oh, you found it, yeah? So the slow mode was... he turned it off. That's brilliant. So... in the immediate progressed chart, what do we have? Gear icon on the left. And I have nothing more. I can just change the thumbnail. So if the hour is right at 3 o'clock for Venezuela, the first interesting events are going to unreal according to the progress chart, yeah, more or less are going to be emotions that are going to meet chaos in the 12th house of Venezuela, but that's going to be May 2026. So yeah. But the emotions of Venezuelans are going to be blocked for very, very many years by Saturn here. As you can see, my only viewer. At the top, click on the community moderation. There is a bubble that says message speed. Okay, community moderations are... Rogi. I'll turn it off the next time when I'm not so sleepy. Anyway, so Venezuela, yeah, interesting from this point that the progressed horoscope is quite tough, because the emotions of Venezuelan are going to be limited for a very, very many years, because Saturn moves quite slowly. So that's number one, and that's May 2026. The emotions may hit hard in the 12th house. So yeah, maybe some revolutionary thoughts. As I said in the video about Venezuela, I think that I said that, in my less than humble opinion, in a way there might be some shooting, but it's gonna be an inside job, if so. Have you done Trump's birth chart? Yes, I did Trump everything, I think, a number of times. So Trump will attack May 2026. I don't know about that, but let's look in the transits right now. Is he going to attack in May? The question is this line, because they move quite fast. They move 1 degree more or less in 2.5 minutes, yeah? So if this line is right, and I'm not 100% sure whether 200 years ago, more than 200 years ago, they were exact to the minute with this timing, or whether it was the investigative astrology that was involved, and some other astrologists estimated that this is the right time for Venezuela. If it is, with the last pass of Uranus, and the last pass of Uranus already happened, or not, 2026, Uranus is still moving retro, okay. So the last day of retrograde is going to be the 3rd of February. Is it going to be exact? 2727, and that's 2659. So that transit is already done as of today. And the question is, do we have any other indicators that would... Because I did horoscope of Panama as well. Oh, I'm so sleepy. I did horoscope of Panama as well, yeah. And they according to the horoscope, and if the horoscope is right, they might have some interesting stuff going on in January, I think. We'll see. So that would be one of the points, 27th of January 2027. And the big conjunction in Aries. What is it going to do to Venezuela? Because, as I said before many times, the very last points of horoscope of each and every zodiac sign, and very first degree of each and every zodiac sign would get some sort of activity sooner or later this year and the next year. And as you can see here, if this horoscope is right, 5th of July 1811 of Venezuela, there isn't too many planets, so that's not yet, but apart from this line, yeah. So that could bring revolution with partnerships. So technically speaking, they could switch sides on just like that. It is possible for Venezuela, but will they? We'll see. As I said, I feel that if so, that might be rather some sort of a bit of shooting and inside job rather than like full-scale invasion, or full-scale invasion would be very dramatic and short, just like Americans did with Panama years ago. And I don't know whether that was Uranus in Panama. So another point I would say would be, I'm going to bed. Come on, I'm barely sitting. What time is in your... Where are you in Canada, if so? Roger one. Yeah, but I don't, as I said, I don't see as dramatic events as for Ukraine, for example, because Ukraine's Ottawa 11 o'clock in the morning. You have snow, you told me yesterday, yeah? We have rain. Yeah, so as I said, this period, January, February, then maybe a bit of pause in March and April next year, are going to be interesting. So if so, some activity in there. And remember that, for example, Panama can get affected like by, let's say, some sort of special forces or rebels of another country. It's not... We've seen it in Egypt with Suez Canal. It's just enough. It's not, you don't really need much to block the whole passage for an extended period of time. Maybe that will happen in Panama, just as a show off that other powerful countries can do it easily, or maybe Venezuelan forces can do it. I don't know, but this is the only point that will get directly and a direct aspect. That's gonna be next year, January, February. And let's see if Jupiter is going to touch Venezuela's sun. No, that transit is already over. So yeah, as I said, that if so, I think that there might be a bit of revolution, a bit of shooting, but hopefully for the people of Venezuela, they've suffered enough, I would say. That might be simply switch of power in Venezuela, because I think that after this meeting with Trump Putin last year, they decided this is ours, and United States is just cleaning its neighborhood. Yeah, they probably would, but that's gonna happen in Europe, not in Venezuela. I don't think that it would happen in Venezuela. Yeah, it's going to be. I say there might be lots of unrest in 2026 everywhere. Well, maybe not everywhere, but in very many locations around the world, and in my personal life as well, because I'm gonna have to get affected by direct Pluto transits. It's gonna be interesting for myself as well, and for very many people that I know. So yeah, Venezuela is gonna be happy. Hopefully, it's gonna be happy, like. But so that's the only point that's gonna get affected somehow. Let's have a look at one last country. Ireland. I don't know whether this horoscope of Ireland is good. Poland. I have to get Poland sorted as well. Let's have a look at Polish horoscope and other, and so you can see that in the horoscope of Poland from 966, Sun is in the very early Taurus and MC is the very, very late Aries. So this point is going to get affected. Mainly that's it for the time being, but I would suggest that when Pluto is going to aspect the emotions of Poland, and then partnerships of Poland, and then partnerships of Poland as well, future partnerships, that's going to be very interesting and dramatic period of time for Poland, because Pluto is going to make the opposition to these points in Polish horoscope. So I would expect very many interesting events unveiling in Poland sooner or later as well. Let's have a look at the progress. Oh, and I just reminded myself that I did check it a bit earlier. So progressed Saturn is going to make conjunction to natal sun of Poland, and that happened, but then Saturn was retrograding like 200 or 300 years ago, when Poland got partitioned and occupied. So that is going to be interesting for Poland. And I'm just seeing that Uranus sooner or later is going to aspect the bottom of the horoscope. That's gonna be interesting as well. And progressed Sun is going to, that's gonna happen in like 5 or 6 years. Progressed Sun is going to be on Saturn of Poland, while Saturn is going to be, that's gonna be 2030. Loads of limitations for Poland. I would say that I think that Poland may lose independence again. This time maybe for a very long period of time. We'll see. And the Neptune is going to, that's gonna happen soon, like. I have to get this horoscope done. Neptune. Okay, Neptune is almost done with its retrograde by the 11th of this month, so this transit is almost over, but that's lots of illusion and insecurity when we are talking about inherited structure of Poland. And Saturn is going to join that point very soon, at the beginning of February next year. So that's gonna be interesting. And then we'll have this big conjunction that is going to perform semi-sextile to the Sun, very important point, similar to Argentina. Argentina has the Sun close to the MCIC line at the bottom of horoscope, while Parent has at the top. So that is going to be non-harmonious aspect from these two planets as well. And Pluto will start aspecting the moon of Poland in the year 2030. But that's gonna be with trying to this Polish superpower regarding communication. Yeah, I'll have a closer look at Polish horoscope in maybe in the next episode. We'll see whether it works or not. And when I said I will have a look at the Polish horoscope, I just had a feeling or a vision, however you call it, about the railroad tracks again, because there was some sort of sabotage in Poland happening a couple of days ago. But I've seen railway tracks when I said horoscope of Poland. And because I am so tired, maybe name a country, or write me a full question regarding a country. So first write me a question, blah blah blah, and then just country, so it pops out on the chat, and I will see whether I'll get something regarding that country. Do you want to know the first answer that I got? Because actually the horoscope of India and Pakistan is quite interesting. I just got the answer, and I think that you know the answer. This is show it. Oh yeah, India, Pakistan. They are very interesting from a very simple point of view, that they are twin nations. They were, come on. I want to become small. So we have Pakistan here and India here, and they were born 2 days away. No, not 2 days away. I just said 1001 and the other one is 59. I took it from the internet, but basically speaking, they were born 2 minutes away. Maybe that's the same time. So they basically have very similar horoscopes. Just the distance of capitals gives them a bit of a difference. So you can see Jupiter in the different house, and Moon is in the same house, but Mercury and Saturn switches places between the roots for Pakistan and communication for India. So they are very similar. So technically speaking, if there is massive event in one country, there's a massive event in the other one. So they were at war a number of times, and as things can in the next couple of years can get really loose all over the place, and they both have Mars in the early degrees of Cancer, So they would get semi-sextile from Uranus in Gemini, and they would get a trine. Would that be a trine? No, they wouldn't. They would get sextile. So let me just turn on one of the India's horoscope transits. So this big massive conjunction is going to sextile the ascendant of India and sextile the north node, trine the south node. But Uranus is gonna go through through the ascendant of India, and Uranus is associated with uranium, while Pluto is associated with plutonium, and then they are going to be in trine. So there's gonna be loads of energy for these two countries as well. Shit. Pluto is going to transit through MC of Pakistan sooner or later. Yeah, I'll have to check the horoscopes of conflicts between these two countries and find the most important points. And we'll see how are they going to get affected in the future, and then maybe I will simply shoot another video during Christmas period. I just don't want to say it. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. That would not be good for anyone. Well, maybe for producers of protective equipment, depending on how far would that go. I did try doing Australia, but I'm not sure about this Australian horoscope. When did they? And that's the last thing, okay? And I'm going to bed. Over. Nothing more. Australia, did they have any sort of? Okay, so look at that. Australia is going to have transiting Pluto affecting the midhaven of Australia. So that would be, if the midhaven is in the right spot, that's gonna be a big transit, and south node is going to get affected by Uranus later that year, next year. So, and there might be interesting moments as well when Jupiter and Sun are going to get into conjunction. That's gonna happen next summer, next year, in this very moment. Yeah, we'll have it Australia, but there's like just 20 million people living in Australia. It's by population is a small country, even though it's a continent. Anyways, I am so tired. I'm going to bed. It's almost 5 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, viewers. See you next time. I will shoot live from time to time because they are so much easier for me to shoot, because I don't less manual labor to shoot, but I have to have look at these horoscopes. But regarding the question that you asked me, the first information that I got was yes. Okay, so that was the when I was just yes. I didn't have any other picture. I've seen the word yes. And regarding the vision of Israel that I had yesterday or the day before, I've seen a missile, like a big one, yeah, solid fuel or empty with no fuel inside, but a big one, like the size that you would use for sending satellites. What's inside, I don't know. I've just seen the bottom part, let's say the half of the missile, and it was standing. Whether it was related to Israel or not, I think that there was some sort of a crash of a missile in Russia today. But Yeah, housing cost, come on. Do you know what's going on in Ireland? It's like a joke. And I am technically speaking in a similar situation. I don't know whether I'll have a place to go. So then I will be shooting lives from a car or from a street if I'll be able to afford a mobile and internet. So we'll see what is going to happen then. And yeah, see you next time, lads. I'm